It's upon us. We're on the road to KnuckleMania 2. What's going on? It's Brian Socia. This is like the best time of the year to be a BKFC fan. I'm with my buddy Rob. We're pumped up. I'm jacked up more than normal in Tiger Life because KnuckleMania 2 is coming, man. We're like right there. We're right there. We're
right around the corner, man.
I'm pumped about it. We're going to talk about KnuckleMania 2 today, of course. Also going to be talking to a man fighting on KnuckleMania 2, Chad Money Mendes. He's going to be joining us. Also,
live.
Even more than that, I mean, this is a jam-packed show today. We'll talk a little bit about BKFC Fight Night in New York. Connor Tierney from the UK fighting on that. We're going to learn more about him. We're going to speak to him today. There's so much to get into. We have fan mail we're going to talk about here. We have everything, Rob, including we were talking about all kinds of stuff before we went on the air. And the thing that I thought was interesting was something that I believe you predicted a couple of shows ago. And we're going to get to that in a moment. But first, Rob, I want your excitement. You're pumped up. I'm pumped through our veins.
That's right,
Tell me how pumped you are.
I'm so pumped. I'm excited. We're going to be there live.
It's going to be awesome.
Dude, we're going to be there live at the fan experience. So if you have tickets, make sure you come see us. We're going to have fighters doing autographs, awesome merchandise, some giveaways, a lot of fun stuff, man. Make sure you grab your tickets. And if you can't join us live, download the app. It's only $4.99.
Best value in combat sports. That's right. In all sports.
Damn right.
But are you going to be there signing autographs at the fan experience?
Well, speaking of autographs, I think we got something in front of us, a little bit of fan mail.
Rob, if we had an applause, what a transition. We've been doing the show for about over a year together now, and it's nice to watch you come along.
Sir,
by the way, where the hell were you last week? We had people saying you got your car stolen again. I think Joe Miggs said that. I thought you were dead. I thought you were robbing like PlayStations out of the back of a truck. I mean, you just didn't show up. Everything okay?
Yeah, everything is good, man. The man I had some issues with the man, but we'll get into that.
When does that not happen? We'll talk about that another time. All right, I don't want to drag you too deep into these deep, murky waters. A lot of stuff going on, including fan mail. We're getting fan mail. I don't want people to see the address. This is from Howard, a guy named Howard, in South Carolina. South Carolina.
Big shout out to Howard, man.
I love South Carolina. Am I open this now? See what's on here?
Yeah. I think Howard is requesting a autograph from two.
How do you know? Did you already open the letter?
I'm that good. He actually sent two. He was asking for autographs of two of our round car girls. So Howard from South Carolina, we're going to take care of you. Me and Brian personally are going to make sure that we do get those autographs.
Wait a minute. If we try to talk to the round car girls, he's not getting an autograph. They're going to run away. They're like, who are these two creeps coming up here? I mean, let's be honest.
Did you check that envelope for anthrax?
Right. I'm just pissed off we don't have a letter opener in the BKFC offices. I'm going to slice my hand here.
But listen, if people want to send us some fun stuff, man, rock that address really fast, Brian. Where can they send some coffee, some goodies,
they
some
can just
t-shirts,
show up
some
here
merch?
to see us. It would be great.
Yeah, Brian, what's your address?
I'll give you my home address.
And the last four of your social and your mother's maiden name, please.
I will give you all of those things. So here's the thing. If you want to send anything, and we like snail mail. We get all kinds of strange gifts. I've gotten some really strange gifts. Man. We got stuff coming from Russia. I see shows up here sometimes, all over the world. So we love hearing from you, whether it's a nice note, whether you write us and say we're morons, that's fine too. Whatever you think, or you send us something nice. You can send it to BKFC, 303 West Lancaster Avenue, Suite 288 in Wayne, Pennsylvania, 19087. Maybe we'll put that up on the screen, and we'll do a snail mail feature. Maybe if people start sending stuff, you send weird, cool stuff, and we'll open it live on the air, not knowing what it's going to say. That'd be kind of cool.
That is cool, man. So if you got some promotional stuff you want to send us,
you say promotional. I feel like we're gonna get like a dead fish in the mail or something.
Well, some of these bigger YouTubers, they'll get all kinds of crazy stuff, man. They'll send them like PlayStations and new phones and skateboards. Just send us a coffee. I'll take a coffee.
I'll take a coffee too. I mean,
send a coffee through the mail.
We send the beans.
No, they send cheesesteaks.
Yeah, they do. I've seen that. I've seen that. And by the way, it pisses me off. Wherever I go when we travel around for BKFC, they have Philly cheesesteak on the menu. And if you get a Philly cheesesteak anywhere outside of Philly, you're an absolute moron. I'm sorry, but you are. It's not the same thing.
Brian,
I'm
to that,
up, man.
when we were at BKFC 1, I still have the photo. There was a restaurant in Wyoming selling Philadelphia cheesesteaks.
In Wyoming?
In Wyoming.
No.
Dude, it was
Wyoming,
the saddest looking cheesesteak you've ever seen in your life. I'm not even gonna call the restaurant out. It was good. I'm not gonna lie, it was good. But the portions were, they were sad. It was
Philadelphians
depressing.
Gatekeep cheesesteaks like they're so hard to make. It's bread.
Nope.
It's literally
This man's
three
from Jersey.
ingredients.
What an
It's
idiot. Listen to this
bread,
moron.
steak, and cheese, and you act like that. Oh, we can't make it anywhere else outside of this steak.
Evan is I'll give him his credit. Evan is a master when it comes to talking about fights and just seeing an eye on things. When it comes to cheesesteaks, you're an absolute moron, Evan. With all due respect. because here's the thing. With all seriously, there's a special kind of bread for a cheesesteak. It's the water around here. That's what it is.
You're
it's
right.
a different kind of water with the bread.
It's great water quality.
That's why it's trash water. Probably.
No, Brian's absolutely right. You cannot make these like in Arkansas. My uncle lives in Arkansas, and they tried to open up a couple restaurants there, and they're like, it's just not the same. It's the bread. The bread makes the cheesesteak.
Yeah, there was a guy in Florida for a while that I knew that was flying the bread down every day. Like seriously, to do a cheesesteak thing there. But anyway, we're getting deep. We love our cheesesteaks here. Evan doesn't, as we can tell. He probably eats, what does he call them? We call them hoagies.
What is the food of New Jersey?
Which Jersey? Pizza? What is it? What's Jersey? Come on.
I mean, I'm right outside of Philly, so I mean, I can't.
Look, now he's
now he's a Philly boy.
Well, now I'm outside.
I'm just saying,
I like my roast pork sandwich.
10 minutes from the bridge. I don't think there's that much of a difference. We do like primo hoagies. That's like
hoagies. See, still calls them hoagies.
Primos are good.
It drives me nuts when people call hoagies subs, submarine sandwiches, subs. What else do they call them? They call them weird names. They're hoagies. They have all these weird names around the country. There's another name too. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, you either go to the beach or you go to the shore, depending on where you live.
I go down the shore, bro.
I go down the shore as well.
All right. Anyway, we're getting way off here. Who do we have coming up first? I believe it's Chad Mendes first. Right around 12:15, he's going to be calling in, checking with the money man himself. Before we get to that, we teased something earlier that we spoke about a couple weeks ago, and we predicted this to come true, and apparently it has come true. Rob, you know what I'm talking about, so you have the floor.
Yeah, BJ Penn is reporting on it. BJPenn.com is reporting out. Logan Paul sues Floyd Mayweather for not paying him for their boxing match. We talked about this. I brought it up a couple of weeks ago. I knew something was fishy. Once Floyd started talking about fighting some 18-year-old multi-billionaire, trust fund kid.
That was the exhibition fight, right?
Yeah, and I think it's still moving forward. And then someone else posted, like, does Floyd have money? Is he having money troubles?
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, you didn't pay Logan Paul, so.
How do you get, look, I always refer to the MC Hammer thing. This is dated, but like on VH1 Behind the Music, he had like golden toilet seats and stuff. That guy had more money than anybody in the world. That guy made so much money and it all went away.
Bankrupts.
I mean, I don't think I could spend money easily if I had that kind of money, but I don't think I could blow through it like that. I just don't think I could.
I think I watched that special, a special that was very similar to that, and he did everything in his power to bring up everybody with him, like his whole entourage. He was just exactly. Everybody was like, yo, Hammer, yo, Hammer, yo, Hammer. And he was taking care of everybody. And at the end of the day, he wasn't taking care of himself or his finances. And
hold on, Rob.
All went down the toilet.
As we're waiting for Chad Money Mendes, do you remember MC Hammer? He had You Can't Touch Us, and we got to pray just to make it today. But then he came out with the Funky Headhunter lyric, and he had the speeders on. He was like, pumping the bump, pumping the bump.
Yeah, are we
like
getting
the girls
this?
with the pump and the bump. Oh, that's going to be a screen grab. I am whacked out today. I love it.
Oh, this is great, man.
I'm very excited.
He's got the hip thrust.
Do you remember that? He had, it was very. I don't know.
I know he went the gangster rap.
He tried.
Yeah, he tried. He tried. Good. He tried.
Please don't hurt him, Hammer. Funky Headhunter. So Chad Money Mendes on in a couple minutes. We're going to talk to him about KnuckleMania 2. Of course, he's fighting Famez. That's coming up. I mean, that's about a week away. Fight week will be there. We'll be there now.
Yeah.
Of course, you can order the fight, BKFC.com. Great value, $4.99 per month. That's for the whole app. You get everything. 2 events per month. And I've seen some of these prices. I'm not calling out anybody else. But what's it, like $80, $90?
Something like that.
I mean, that's nuts.
Inflation,
yeah, right.
I guess.
Not here.
But yeah, so people understand, just so we're very clear, the $4.99 includes, it's not an additional fee on top of that. You get the pay-per-view with your monthly subscription, and there's something new coming to the app very, very soon. So I strongly suggest everybody download the app now, lock in that price for $4.99. You're going to be pleasantly surprised.
$4.99. The price won't change with this thing coming to the app. You're saying this big announcement thing. This bothers me again. We deal with this every week. Someone feeds you all this info. I have no clue. And like, you're a good dude. You're a good dude, Rob. I like you. But they're going to feed a scumbag like you, because I'm one too. They're going to feed you info. You're probably feeding it out. I don't know anything. So can you give me a little bit of a hint what this could be? It's going to change the game. What's going to happen with this?
I think everyone, especially early adopters that have downloaded the app, are going to be very, 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 very happy.
Awesome. See, it's no secret, and not ashamed to admit it, we're very transparent that you have complained about the app. You have. We've seen the issues. We don't like dealing with them. Yeah, exactly. We don't like dealing with the issues.
It's growing pains, man. It's a brand new organization.
We're upset about it. We don't like it. They should have to deal with it.
We listen to the fans.
That's right.
It's that's what we do. First and foremost, it is about the fans. It's about the fans. It's about the fighters. Without either one of them, we don't exist.
And I will say, behind the scenes in the office, when we had an app problem or 2 or 3 or 4 back in the day, that'll stop. But when we had those problems, we would take it probably harder than you realized. I mean, we'd be in here trying to figure out what we can do because it wasn't our fault. So we're going to fix that for you. Keep it at $4.99 a month. And there's going to be a lot more, it sounds like, on the app, which is great, ahead of KnuckleMania 2. Speaking of KnuckleMania 2, in the virtual green room, he's here. I'm being told in my ear. Excited to speak with him. He's a legend in combat sports. He is Chad Money Mendes.
Let's welcome him. What's up,
going
Chad?
on, Money Man?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
How are you? Well, can you hear us?
Yep, I got you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you great, man. So, Chad, look, you're going to be fighting Famez coming up. We've seen the Road to KnuckleMania documentary, which is excellent put together to show your guys' story, where you're headed. You can watch that on of course, the BKTV app, available at BKFC.com. But it's nice to have you here because I want to examine some of that stuff and check into some other stuff with you as well. The first things first, I mean, Chad, you're so successful. You've had a great run in UFC. I mean, top 5 fighter when you walked away from UFC. You're still under contract with them, but now you're here. Why bare knuckle for you? Why are you here? Why would you have something to prove? What's the reasoning?
I got nothing to prove. I've been in athletics my entire life since I was 5 years old, competed at the highest level in wrestling, into the UFC. But for me, it's, I still have the competitive itch. I mean, when I retired, I was 34 years old. You know, I'm still in my prime, and it's not, I didn't leave because I don't think I can compete with the best in the world. It wasn't worth it at the time. And, you know, starting a few businesses, having 2 daughters now, you know, things are definitely different in our household, but, man, like I said, I still have the desire to compete. I've been doing it my entire life. And, for this opportunity to come up and the pay to be what it is and definitely be worth it, you know, it definitely motivated me more to get back in there and want to whoop some ass. So, yeah, man, I feel good. And this camp went really good. It's been a long process. It's going to be almost a year since we got the ball rolling on this. So I've been preparing for this one fight longer than any fight I've ever had in my career. So, I'm excited to get in there and showcase my skills, man. I'm just pumped to get in there.
We're excited to see you get in there. And a lot of stuff that you said in that opening statement that I want to go through this and unpack. The one being that you mentioned that, you know, for the pay to be what it is, there's rumors going around online, and it's a huge payday. And congrats to you. I mean, good for you. $600,000 is being talked about. I mean, do you want to talk a little more about that? Is that what it took to get you here? Is that the correct amount? Are you going to dish that to us? I know that's been spoken about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk exact numbers, but just, you know, I've been asked a lot what it is, and I just tell people it's worth it. You know, it's a good purse. What's a huge benefit for me is being able to go back to having sponsors, you know, hustling. Since fighting, I've worked with a lot of companies in the outdoor industry and built some really good relationships with them, and being able to showcase, you know, their brands on my shorts and working social media deals, you know, with the fight purse, it's definitely going to be well over 600,000. So I'm pumped for that. I mean, I feel like this has been a long road. I've put in my time. I've put in, you know, tons and tons of energy over my lifetime to get to this point. And it's finally here, man. I'll get in there and get a payday, beat somebody up again, and get back to having fun for sure.
Chad, you're kind of there saying it, and I think you should get a payday. I think every fighter should be paid as well as possible. But Famez had said about you, you're just coming in for a check. Is that true? I mean, it seems like you want the money, but are you just coming in for a check?
I mean, if he's expecting me to go over there and just take a punch and lay down, that's definitely not the case. Like I said, this is the most work I've put in for any single fight, even against Jose Aldo, you know, for UFC title fight. This is the most work I've put in for any fight. So if he thinks I'm gonna go out there and just lay down, he's got a rude awakening coming. So no, it's definitely not just about a payday. That's definitely a nice bonus to it. But like I said, I'm still in my prime, man. I still feel good. I feel better now than I ever have. I don't, you know, I get to focus solely on boxing, you know, which is great. I feel like I've made huge improvements from a year ago to now in just my striking alone. So, you know, I said it in some of the other interviews that I feel like when I get obsessed about something, and this is how I was with wrestling, a few years, like into high school, and I made some of my biggest jumps, becoming a state placer and then making my transition into college. When I decided and got obsessed about it is when I started becoming an All-American and really making those huge gains. That's how I feel about this, man. I've been watching a ton of videos on both Famez and just high-level boxers, and just really, really soaking everything in and feeling like I'm making huge improvements. So,
Chad,
like I said, I feel good, and I'm ready to get in there and showcase it.
If I may interrupt, we're excited to see you, but you mentioned about training boxing and how you become obsessed with something. I saw that on our Road to special that we did. Yeah. But as far as training for 11 years and really dialing in for the last year or so in boxing, what we've seen of you, I mean, your hands look incredible, but boxing, you've never had a boxing fight. You've never had a bare knuckle fight. So as we know, boxing, a lot of times boxers come in and think they know what they're doing, but you have less surface area to block with the gloves. The rules are completely different. So, I mean, are you concerned about that?
I think the benefit I have there to the smaller surface area is I've been in MMA my whole life. So, obviously an MMA glove and a bare knuckle is not that big of a difference.
I don't know. Chad, I have to, here's the thing. I've never fought either, but I have to tell you what I heard. Hold on the
front of it, but my knuckle, there's not much of a difference side to side. So
I forget who said this. Somebody, I wish I could cite the name. Somebody said they were shocked at the difference of a bare knuckle and an MMA glove. I forget who said that. I wish I remembered, Chad. I'm sorry, but that was what I was going to ask you. Next question.
I have a teammate that's fought 2 fights, Eddie.
Yeah.
And I've been picking his brain on it too. He definitely says things feel different getting hit bare knuckle. I've been hit bare knuckle before. I know what that feels like. It doesn't feel good for sure. Ideally, the goal is not to get hit too much. I'm going to pressure and I'm going to use my speed and my power to get in there and hopefully in this fight quick.
So, I mean, you say you've been hit with a bare knuckle. I actually had that in my notes. I was going to ask you if you've ever been hit with a bare knuckle. What, like a street fight? What's your record in street fighting?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've been in quite a few of those growing up.
All right. Well, I'd like to see tape of that. Maybe it'll be on YouTube with it one day. You probably would have been famous much before you were if there was YouTube back then.
Oh, man. If there were cell phones like they were now in college and high school, shit would be bad for me. I'll tell you that.
Rob, so your preparation, Chad, going into a normal MMA bout, how has it changed for BKFC? You said it's all stand up. What changes are you making for your debut?
I mean, as far as the boxing training goes, the way that I can move in there is completely different. I don't have to worry about, getting off track too far on one side and getting head kicked or, catching a knee when you're coming down. Obviously, the technical part of it's a little bit different as far as the boxing striking for straight boxing and boxing striking for MMA. So obviously we fine tune that, but also, you can't spar bare knuckle. We do a lot of technical stuff, bare knuckle or just really thin MMA gloves on, so we do a lot of technical stuff like that. And then it's basically hard sparring, just like you would with 16-ounce gloves, headgear, and, multiple partners coming in on you and just going hard. So, outside of that, really, you focus on strength and conditioning, weight management, and all technical and hard stuff with the boxing setup. So, MMA can be so difficult because you're doing three workouts a day because you're trying to get all disciplines trained. And there's a lot of times I feel like I get overtrained through my camps. There was quite a few fights where I just felt actually shittier going into the fight than I did week 2 or 3 in my camp. And you just got to push through it. So, I think it's opened up a lot of things in the training world as far, did I cut out?
No, you're still there.
No,
man.
we got you, buddy.
Okay. Shit, it's changed me. To where I can actually focus on things, but not get overtrained. So I have a solid regimen with, like I said, it's been almost a year. So kind of a blessing in disguise. I feel like we jump up, peak, and then something would back out and we'd have to come down a little bit and come back up and peak again. And I feel like we've just added layers to that all the way up to where we are now. So I don't know, man, we'll see. Like you said, I've never done this before. I've never straight boxing fought. I've never fought in a competition bare knuckle. This could be something that I absolutely hate, but we're going to get in there. I feel good mentally, physically. I feel like I should get in there and be able to dominate this guy. I know for a fact there's no way this guy's going to outwork me. Obviously, everybody has a puncher's chance in any fight game, so I'm going to respect that. But I mean, if we stick to my game plan and I know what I can do, there's no way this guy outworks me.
So you're talking about training right now. There's no way he outworks you. Famez had said, it might have been during the Ungloved, or it might have been another interview we were doing with him, that you are a different Chad Mendes now because you have the daughter that you already had. And what do you have, a 10 or 11-month-old now?
Yeah, 11-month-old and almost 3-year-old.
Yeah, look, I have a 3-year-old and I have a 1-year-old. I don't get any sleep. I have to come here and talk. You have to fight. Professionally, has it been a harder camp? He thinks that you're not the same Chad Mendes because you have a beautiful family now. Like, he's willing to go through anything. He claims you're not. Speak on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a completely different camp. This is the first camp I've ever gone through with kids. But I've been a top-level athlete my entire life, and I know how to turn things off when it's time to turn things off.
Compartmentalize.
You know, I do what I need to do at home, and as soon as I leave and step in that gym, my mind is 100% focused on the task at hand. So, yeah, I mean, I think if anything, it's made my life a lot more regimented, which in the fight game could be a positive, I think. You know, you know exactly what you do because other people's lives are in your hands. So it's not like I can slip up and be like, I'm actually not going to do that today. I'm going to go do this and be lazy. There's no chance to be lazy. There's no choice to be lazy or tired or, you know, the ability to not do something. You have to go do it. So I go work, you know, 5-6 hours at the gym, come home, and I do daddy duty and live my family life and have fun doing that. So, yeah, I saw him say that. He's right. I do have a beautiful family. I appreciate him saying that. But yeah, it's not going to affect anything in this fight game for sure.
Yeah, I was just wondering your thoughts. And we're going to do a bit of a quick watch along here in a moment. But one more question to get through. Again, you're still under a UFC contract. You're here with us. You've been around the UFC, top level fighter. And in the locker room of UFC, we've talked about this before, man. Would you say that a lot of the guys want to do bare knuckle? Some guys fear bare knuckle. Where is that in the UFC locker room?
Yeah, it's definitely a mix from a lot of the fighters that I've talked to. Like, some guys are just like, fuck that, I'm not a chance. And then there's some, both men and women, that are like, I want to get in there and try that. It looks awesome. You know, and at first I think I was kind of I don't know if I could get into that. And then I started watching it a little bit more and I'm like, damn, that looks fucking fun.
I love it. So now you're here, man.
Style would do so well in it. So, yeah, like I said, we'll see.
Well, what about as far as, I mean, competing, but let's just talk about fans. I mean, I'd feel like combat sports athletes and UFC top-level athletes also, they would be a fan of bare knuckle. They talk about being fans of the product? Yeah,
I think so. I mean, it's just so primitive, man. It takes you back to the days where people are just putting up their dukes and settling it man-to-man in a bare knuckle, you know? And it's just tough, man. It's a tough thing to do. And it's something I want to try. Like I said, whether I like it or not, we'll find out February 19th, but I'm excited to get in there and give it a shot. It's something that's new and exciting.
Well, we're excited to have you. Again, February 19th, the biggest bare knuckle event of all time, KnuckleMania 2. Of course, BKFC.com. Grab the BKTV app. I think there's still a few tickets remaining in Hollywood, Florida. You can get in for those as well. Before we let you go, they want to do some kind of watch-along thing here. Apparently, there's some kind of video. So I don't know if you know this. Famez does music. He's a very accomplished, talented musician as well. And he has music videos and stuff out. In your research, have you found any of his music videos or anything like that, or you just been watching his...
I've just been watching fights, but I've definitely heard he's a musician.
Well, we want to get your take on his music video here. Let's watch that now. I think they have it queued up in the truck. Go ahead, guys. It's called Purpose.
Hey, babe. I saw your story. Sorry that I'm a little late, but I wanted to reach out to you and ask you if you're okay.
If you never did me wrong, then I will never turn my back on you. Numb to this pain, I swear this should be feeling casual. I don't feel the same, see there's some things I need to let out. VVS is on me, new car, but I don't care now, no. What's my purpose? Tell me what's my purpose? I be crying at night and then be hard on the surface. You don't know what I go through inside my heart, I ain't perfect.
So, again, that song is called Purpose by Famez. You can find that on YouTube. It's up there. And the song, again, Purpose, if you didn't hear me, by Famez. You just heard some of that. I'm not sure if you saw the video they queued up in the truck. Thoughts on his musical career? Is that your type of music?
It's not my type of music, but, you know, that looked very professional and sounded damn good to me. So, you know, hats off to him, man. I got multiple businesses outside of the fight game. You know, there's a lot of fighters, in my opinion, that don't take advantage of the opportunities when fighting and building that name. And, you know, like, I just launched a cookbook.
There he goes. There he goes. He's all set up. Product placement. I love it.
Yeah, beef company, outdoor service. So no, man, hats off to him. It's tough. Like people don't realize how difficult it is trying to do outside ventures while you're still training and doing everything it takes to be a top level athlete. So
Chad Mendes.
That's good on him, man. That's
taking
cool.
the high road, Chad Mendes. That could have gone either way for you. You took the high road. After you're done fighting, will he still sound the same? Are you going to do damage to his face? I mean, what's going to happen? And that's what most would have said. But Chad Mendes, take the high road. We appreciate that. We're excited to watch Famez. It's a big night for Famez too. If he does beat you, that changes his life dramatically, and I'm sure you're aware of that. We're very excited to see that. And I got to say one more thing before we let Chad Mendes go. If you don't have anything else, Rob,
I'm good.
We got Connor Tierney coming up next. But Chad, I'm just being honest. If I were you, I've seen the clips, I've seen you training. I would not own a t-shirt. Every interview I did, I'd come on without a shirt. That's just me. That's what I would do. I would flex the entire time. You look phenomenal, my man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me on. And hopefully we can jump back on after the fight and we'll just see how everything goes.
Yeah, man, I want to chop it up with Chad Money Mendes, baby. All right, we're excited for you, man. Looking forward to it. February 19th. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Got it.
Thanks, Chad. We'll see you at KnuckleMania.
I mean, that guy's sick. He looks like his body is I don't know. Again, I wouldn't own a t-shirt.
Sure, man. Dude, he's a stud, dude, his entire life. Super athlete, man.
Chad Mendes.
What's that?
I want to go on a hunt.
We go hunt.
Dude,
yeah,
I want a cookbook, man.
Send you there.
I'm
Chad,
serious.
if you're watching,
I want a copy of that cookbook. Dude.
And then we could have Evan's a good cook. He could help make stuff, and we could he could go hunting with Chad.
You can make Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah, I wonder if that's in there. We have to go out and like slaughter the cow and cut it up.
Meat cheesesteak.
That'd be fresh, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Chad Mendes again versus Famez. That's going to be a fun match to watch. I'm looking forward to it. Chad, I would say, I mean, some people say Paige Van Zandt. When I see arguably the biggest signing ever, Chad Mendes. I don't know if there's that much of an argument. I mean,
dude, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's really tough. Listen, Chad, he said a lot of things that you touched on.
Yeah.
A lot of the fighters coming into it for the first time. Oh, I train with 8-ounce gloves, and people told me about it. But everybody after it, man,
it's a different
was
ballgame.
I wrong?
It happens.
Totally different ball game.
And that's the thing. Some of these high level fighters that come from UFC, you could be high level in UFC. And then you come here, and we've seen it over and over again. You get a taste of bare knuckle, and you're like, wait a minute. That's my first fight. Now I have to kind of dip my toe back out of it and redo my game plan and come back. And then sometimes they'll do better. I mean, we saw Jocelyn Jones-Lyberger recently. People didn't think that Martina Carolla had a shot. She didn't even know her name apparently.
Yeah, her wow.
But I'm saying, like,
wow,
UFC,
dude,
boxing, we see when they come in from other things, and it's their first time until you get in that squared circle. And Chad is an extremely high level athlete. He says he picks up stuff quick, but until you get in that squared circle, you won't feel the difference.
True.
That's
true.
That's what I
listen. I'll go to bat for him a little bit. He fought Conor McGregor 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
2 weeks notice. He visibly gassed, but he had him on the he had him on his bicycle.
Connor had something to say.
Well, Connor was Evan.
And speak of the devil.
Bop,
this
box
was
it around.
in response. We posted some footage of him hitting mitts the other day, and Connor had that to say. So I wish he was still on. I would have asked him this: do you think the Chad Mendes right now, with a full year's worth of camp behind him, versus the Conor McGregor of today, how does that fight go?
Sure, we'll see. We'll see. I want to see, because he's saying that he's just practicing on his boxing and his stand-up. I want to see how much evolution Chad brings to the table with his stand-up, with just a camp dedicated to that. Because Conor McGregor had a camp dedicated just to boxing.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think that actually hurt him coming back into MMA, but, from just exclusively boxing, I think that was a little bit of his downfall. But I'd love to see how Chad Mendes fares in the stand-up game.
And the best part is you're going to see it all at KnuckleMania 2 for only $4.99.
Sell it, baby. I'm sold.
It's not even a sale at this point. I mean, if you can't understand paying $4.99 a month, even if you don't care about any of our other events, and you just want to watch KnuckleMania 2, you'll care after KnuckleMania 2.
It's the biggest event in BKFC history.
It's going to be
Bare
awesome.
Knuckle history.
And Evan, by the way, I'm sure we'll have Chad on again because we're going to see more of him probably after this fight. So we should ask him that question as well, just to see kind of where his head's
Well,
at.
as far as ex-UFC fighters, look at Rachel Ostovich. She came in. Everybody thought, "Oh, Paige is going to win this one."
Discounted her.
And
very good point.
And Rachel was a beast, dude.
Very
she
good
looked
point.
so good.
I'm glad
Rachel looked like she's been doing bare knuckle fighting her entire life. She took she came
and
prepared.
Hawaii girls, man,
She
they're
sure
tough.
did.
Don't mess around.
It's funny you say that because when I was sitting here preparing and I'm thinking of the UFC fighters and boxers that came in here that didn't fare as well as they thought they would, and I'm going through and I'm thinking UFC, and they're all coming to my head, all the UFC fighters, and Rachel came to my head, Evan. I was just like, no, she came in like a fish to water. I actually want to see her again one day. We'll see.
I hope to see her back.
Me too.
Absolutely, man.
I know we have Connor Tierney coming up. He's was the current BKB champion, one of the champions.
UK's finest.
And we have him now. He came actually as champion, I believe. We signed him over here, and we're going to see what he's going to do. I've been following a little bit of his stuff, and I'm a fan of him. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I believe he has a 5-1 record. He's fighting Jim Ellers coming up in New York.
That is a tough,
the bare knuckle beast
dish,
is back.
Man. Yeah, that is a tough dish, though. You're serving each one of them. It's not like you're getting a welcome back or welcome to the organization for Connor or a welcome back, Jim, to an easy fight. This is a very, very difficult fight for both.
It's going to be great.
It makes sense. I mean,
it makes
Jim's
perfect
last
sense.
fight was a title shot, and Connor, it was the champ.
I agree, Evan, and I think it makes sense too because I think the fans that don't know Connor, that are going to learn about him, as I did within the last probably 6 months, they're going to be very impressed. Especially what they say that you can tell a good fight. Or they say styles make fights. I think that's going to be a great fight to watch between the two of them. I think Jim Ellers, we've seen his pedigree here in BKFC. I mean, his only the devastating loss was to Luis Palomino, but that's
only loss.
It's only one, and that's Luis Palomino. Like he's no joke. It's not like some slouch.
Yeah, that's not something to be not to be proud of. It's like, hey, I've lost to the champ, the current champ, who's going to be fighting on KnuckleMania 2.
And that's something we need to
Defending
talk
his belt.
about as we wait for Connor Tierney coming up. He would talk about New York and maybe a little KnuckleMania with him.
Sorry to cut you. Did you check the odds?
I know, that's what I'm about. Yeah.
Did you check the odds?
Yeah.
Martin Brown is the favorite?
What you're saying? Oh, Rob, you're saying this. Look, here's the thing. I think I would say
right?
No, he is the favorite right now. It just switched.
Is he your favorite?
I don't know. Luis Palomino is so devastating when I've stood next to that man numerous times when he's in go mode, and I don't think I've seen many fighters as intense as he gets. And this guy, he's a samurai warrior. He wants another knockout. He was saying he seems very relaxed, but that's how he can be. He doesn't seem angry yet. I feel like when he gets angry, he's more dangerous.
Speaking of UK champions, he shut out Tyler Goodjohn.
He did. He sure did. And we
knocked out Jim Ellers in the first round.
Knocked out Isaac Valley Flag like that too in my first event here. I mean, the guy's been on a roll. However, Morton Smash Brown saying that he didn't really like his last fight. He wasn't that impressed by it. Luis says he wasn't either. Now, I mean, this is a title shot for Morton Brown. It's a big deal. And I think that Martin's coming to fight. And I've been watching. I always watch the socials. And there's some people that are saying that Martin's got like a really good chance. Don't think this is a fight. And if you think this is a fight where Luis is going to run through it again, I mean, I love Luis. I'm a fan. It's not happening.
I think this is Luis's biggest challenge in this stand-up game. He fought Justin Gagey.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's
Luis fought some top people.
He has, but Martin Brown is precise. His boxing is crisp. His technical ability is second to none. So this is going to be a very, very, very good match.
He's
Do
very
not
driven.
sleep on that fight.
He's very driven to prove to the world and everybody that he is the best pound for pound bare knuckle fighter. Martin is, and I'm excited to see where that's going to go because you can see the fire in his eyes, but you see that fire in Luis's eyes too. These are two guys.
Sure do. All right, bar none, before we get to Connor, best walkout has to go to Luis, man. I love it. What a show that they put out.
He always does a good one. You know he's going
Love
to
it. Absolutely great walkout.
Last time.
It's phenomenal.
But we're going to see this time what happens. It's KnuckleMania 2, so I'm sure the ante's going to be upped. And especially that we get to see Martin Brown. That's why I love this. Versus Luis Palomino. Like we said, we think it might be Luis's toughest challenge to date. And where's it happen? The biggest bare knuckle event ever for $4.99, KnuckleMania 2. I'm excited for it. We're going to talk more about KnuckleMania 2. We have to because we're on the road to KnuckleMania 2. We have Connor Tierney. He's in the waiting room in their virtual green room.
All right, man. Let's get to
a guy that I've recently become a fan of, looking to learn a little more about him. He's going to be fighting Jim Ellers coming up in New York at BKFC Fight Night New York at Seneca Allegheny Casino. Let's get to Connor. Connor, hopefully my horrible Philadelphia area accent, you can understand my horrible accent.
Yeah, I can understand it.
We're going to work together. We'll need subtitles for each other, right? Connor, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I'm so happy to be talking to you for the first time, and it's great to have you here in BKFC. There's so much we want to unpack. We want to introduce you to the new fans. We're excited for your fight coming up. You're coming off a split decision win over James Kennelly, right? That was your...
Yeah.
And that's no slouch. I know you guys had some problems. So you're at 5-1 right now. Excellent record. Taking on a guy that's 4-1 coming up in Jim Ellers.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about what you did. I know a lot about what you did in the UK. You're top guy in UK, champion, man. But before all that, he's the best, I can tell. I just want to find out, I think you did some amateur boxing. What do you have, like 45 amateur fights?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had 48 I've had.
48, wow.
48, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jip you out of a couple there. You deserve, no, seriously, you deserve those, bro. So 48 amateur fights before Bare Knuckle, and then what? You go into Bare Knuckle in the UK.
Yeah, going into Bare Knuckle in the UK just by chance, to be fair. It's mad. I've implemented my technique and my foundations, my stand-up game into Bare Knuckle, and obviously I'm on top of the world right now.
Yeah, you sure are. And I have to say this, from everything I've seen of you when I watch you in Bare Knuckle, the fans, they might respect what you do in the ring, but they don't seem to be in love with you. And I feel like you're, and I say this respectfully, like almost like a child. And I love it. You needle people. And the more you needle them, the more they get upset, the more you get a rise and the more you love it. That's the kind of guy you seem like to me. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's 100% me, that is. Everyone's getting it.
So you're going to be running your mouth like crazy coming over here. Everyone's getting it. And you just really seem to be entertained by their reactions. But why do you think, I mean, you have a big mouth, but you can back it up.
Yeah.
So why is it so important for you as champion of another organization to get signed away and come here to BKFC, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship?
Because I've got, showcasing skills in the UK. We're a small audience, and I think you can fit England in America about 50,000 times. It's that big. I've got to come over there now and prove I'm the best in the world. And BKFC is where it's at now. Right now, the fastest combat growing sport, the fastest promotion as well in the growth. The type of people that you've got on there, I just seen Chad's little interview. And that's where I want to be, and this is where the big fights are for me. But with the skills that I've got, the looks, the power, coming over there, and showcasing everything I've got. It's the main stage. This is it. You know what I mean? This is the big stage for me. This is when people say, we're going to Hollywood. We're going to Hollywood.
Yeah, you are. You're coming to the big stage, and you're doing it in New York. I mean, you're right. That if you do it in New York, where else would you want to be to debut? And here's the other thing. You're relatively young. You're still in your 20s. Do you feel business-wise coming over here and showing off and running your mouth that you're going to be like the face of Bare Knuckle in the future? That's got to be your goal, right?
Yeah, I've spoken to the man himself, David, and he said, come make a splash. And it's exactly what I am to do. Come over there and make a splash. At the end of the day, I'm 27. I'm coming into my prime now. The likes of Jim Ellers are coming out of their prime. They've gone past their peak. I'm coming into my peak now, strongest, fittest, best shape I've ever been in. And, I'm looking to make some serious noise over there.
So describe yourself as a fighter for people that might just be tuning in and not know of you. If you had to sell yourself in a couple sentences to the fans, how would you describe yourself?
In terms of a fighter, technically outstanding.
Modest, love it.
right.
Technically, you know what it is? I know by watching BKFC and the fighters are in it, and no offence, everyone's got a heart of a line to get in that ring. Jim's a tough dude, man. Jim is a tough dude, and it's going to be the toughest fight for me. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the skills and the technicality and the foundations, I am the best in that promotion, no doubt about it. The footwork, the angles, the skill, the intelligence. I had people banging on about Brito's IQ. Wait until you see my IQ. You know what I mean? I make Brito look like, I don't know, what's he called, third grade over there, and I'm the teacher.
He's firing shots. That's why this guy doesn't care. I love it. So as far as, you kind of touched on Jim Ellers, your opponent, the Bare Knuckle Beast. But I'd like you, again, in a couple compact sentences, what you've seen about Jim. How do you describe Jim as a fighter? What you're looking at when you see him?
See, Jim's tough, bullying tactics, one-dimensional though, comes in straight lines. Look straight away at his keys, trying to get hold of the fighter, and he loves that inside work. And he's not going to want to let me do what I want to do now. Obviously, he's going to try and take everything away from me. Right now, we are putting a plan together, that plan will be executed, and and we'll be seeing my hand raised at the end of the fight. Jim's a good lad, tough fighter, MMA, but like I said, very one-dimensional in his approach. And the differences between me and Jim is that I'm leagues above him in class and skill. It's going to be an interesting fight. It's going to be this. Listen, the main event is not Bedford Grant. The main event is Tierney versus Ellis. That's the main event. This card.
This guy, again, very confident, and I think that as fans grasp your confidence, they're either going to love it or they're going to hate it. Either way, they're going to have an opinion, which I love that. So we talked to Chad Mendes earlier, as you said, and he's coming in from a UFC background, 11 years of boxing, but he's only done sparring and stuff. You're a guy that's done bare knuckle. You're coming in from the UK, and we've seen it many times. People come in from another sport or even the UK. We've seen it with Tyler Goodjohn and stuff. They're very good fighters, but it's a different set of rules. It's a little different for you. How are you preparing for that, and have you? I mean, does that concern you?
Listen, bare knuckle fighting, boxing is completely different to any sport in the world. It's not boxing gloved. It's not MMA, and the thing is, what you need to understand, and what Chad doesn't understand yet, is he's going to go in there, right, and he's going to throw a punch with the same power he puts in with 4-ounce gloves. And it could possibly break his hand. It could possibly break his wrist. And this is the experience that I've got having 6 fights now, knowing how to approach the situation, the distance, the timing, the conserving your energy, throwing the right shots. Your shot selection's got to be perfect, because if you cop someone at the end there and you break your small knuckle, that's a painful thing. I've already done it. But conditioning the hands and being actually, when Chad goes in that fight and realise that the complete difference, the abnormality of bare knuckle fighting to MMA, if he wants to stay in it, which a lot of MMA fighters and boxers I've seen come in it, they have one fight and then they disappear. They don't want to know, because at the end of the day, it's an animals game, and we're all animals in the sport. Going in and busting another man's face up, orbital bones, cracking, breaking skulls, breaking hands. That's what we do, though. This is what people want to see now. Brutality, a beautiful brutality. And me, I've got to keep on top of my game. The way I do things, I train bare knuckle on the pads. I get as close as I can to it. Sparring MMA gloves. It's a completely different game though to any other sport. This is like a complete unique sport, and everyone who comes in new to the game, such as Chad, are going to find that out.
You know what I don't understand? They never, with all due respect to all of them, Rob has seen this too. Every time we do interviews with people coming in, we warn them if they're boxers. We warn them if they're UFC fighters. Nobody wants to listen to us. So I'm glad that you understand that. But as far as you, coming from the UK, I said the rules are different. The square, we have a squared circle. We don't have the ring like you guys have. It's on a bigger scale. I mean, have you prepared for all that? Everything from the media, everything coming out. It's going to be a different ball game for you. You're prepared for that?
Listen, I'm prepared for everything. Everything you can throw, anything can the kitchen sink at me. At the end of the day, I was born to fight and I was born to win. I'm a born winner. And when it comes to the media, I love the camera. I'm vain. Everyone knows it. I want to be in front of the camera. Listen, if Jim Ellis is getting more spotlight than me, I'm going to go mad. As simple as that. I'm coming for you, Jim. Get out of the way of the camera. But no, the media, the pressure, everything, I thrive under pressure, and the size of the fight and the audience it's going out to, that only spurs me on. I'm dangerous right now because I'm obsessed with this fight right now. This is all I can think of. When I wake up to when I go to sleep, I can think of this fight. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. Nothing else matters. I work as a quantity surveyor full time in an office, and I think about the fight 8 hours a day when I'm at work. I get home, I think of the fight. I go to the gym, I think of the fight. I'm obsessed right now. I'm dangerous right now, and I just can't wait to get in there.
All right, well, we're looking forward to getting there. I don't know. It could be argued, do you love the camera? Does the camera love you? You could argue that with yourself all day, man. Rob, do you have anything else for our good friend Connor Tierney?
Yeah, I just have one question. So your fellow countryman, Tyler Goodjohn, you've shared the same promotion together. Have you spoke to him at all regarding the differences in fighting in the European versus the American? Tyler admittedly had some difficulty with the clinch. He could have done a little bit better. Have you implemented any of that, and have you talked to him at all regarding the differences?
Haven't really spoken regarding the differences in the way Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is rule set wise, but in terms of my training, I'm implementing the clinch right now. I'm training with Thai boxers, I'm training with MMA fighters, and in my sparring now, I'm telling everyone we're starting from the centre of the ring. We're towing the line at the centre of the ring. This is how we're starting. They're coming out 100 miles an hour. I'm adapting to the way they're coming out to me, and I'm implementing the clinch and holding at the back of the head and uppercutting, etc. So, yeah, I mean, like I say, the first round for me will be the teething stage, and every round after that, I'll be well suited to it.
Well, I mean, we're looking forward to your fight coming up. BKFC Fight Night New York. This is the second one, March 12th. That goes down. But before that goes down, February 19th, the biggest bare knuckle event of all time, KnuckleMania 2. We're going to be talking about that in a couple minutes. And before we let you go, since you've been following the sport and you're so into it, you know so much, let's talk to Connor for a moment and get some predictions on some of the top matches. I mean, we talked about Chad Mendes and Famez a moment ago. I mean, how do you see that going?
See, Famez, for me, when I watch him, no offence to him, I think in his work rate, he's not very quick in his work rate. He looks a bit slow to me, like he takes his time a lot and poses and admires his work too much. And I think Mendes' work rate, his punch volume will obviously be dictating the winner of that fight. I've got Mendes for that fight. I just think with, especially the way he's looking now, he looks, very, very good shape. He's a strong opponent, and it's punches in bunches for him. And I think that's what obviously Famez has got to deal with, the volume of punches and the work rate. I think Chad's going to really bring it that first round.
That's great. So that was the fight we just talked about. And I'm also interested in your prediction on Mike Perry versus Julian Lane.
If I'm honest, right, I think Julian Lane's going to beat him. Julian Lane's got a lot of experience in bare knuckle. Mike Perry, I watched him in the Triller Triad. No offence to Mike, he's struggling to string a sentence together at the moment, and I think Julian's going to beat him, to be fair. I can't see him beating Julian. This is a different game. This is not UFC. This is not MMA. I keep saying this, right? Don't come over here from UFC, MMA, professional boxing and think you're going to do the same job as you were in your own promotion. This is a new promotion. This is a new sport, right? You've got to adapt to it. And, he's going in against Julian. He's a tough lad, and he's going to give him a hard night. So I got Julian Lane for that fight.
That's a huge moment of Julian Lane for his career. Much like Famez, if he beats Chad Mendes, it's huge for him. Julian, it's big in a different way. Now, when you come here for New York for the fight, you look at Jim Eller's style, and he typically will explode off the line. How do you think it matches up with your style?
It's going to be a proper clash. It's going to be exciting, that's for sure. Jim's going to come for war. Listen, even though it's a battle for me, I've prepared for war. So Jim's going to come straight off that line, exactly what he normally does. Bolts forward in a straight line, trying to take my head off. He's got to be careful, because I can bang. It's not just Jim that can bang. Obviously, I'm more record on BKFC. He doesn't show my knockouts, but I'm a banger. I can hit, and if he walks into one of these right hands, it's not night, and that's what he's got to be careful.
I've seen your knockout on Canelli. It was sick. Yeah, that was
best
sick.
one in the world, no doubt about it.
It was sick. So as far as implications, Rob and I and Evan, we were all talking about this earlier on today. What are the implications here? When you get past, if you get past the bare knuckle beast, I should say. I know you say you will, but let's look at it either way. When you get past him, where do you head next? Where are you going here in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship?
Alvin Brito, you've got what's mine, 2 bouts, and I'm coming to take them.
He answered my question. I was going to say, if you could fight one person BKFC, I guess we already knew that answer.
Well, I heard the little Alvin Brito quip earlier in there really quick. I knew that was the next thing he was looking for. That's why I asked him that. But we're excited to see you fight. We're excited in KnuckleMania 2. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's just do the other top two KnuckleMania fights. Yeah. Might as well while he's here. The first ever women's champion here in BKFC, for BKFC, Britain Beltran, formerly Britain Hart, versus Christine Fera. What way do you see that one going?
Yeah, I follow Christine on Instagram. She's an absolute nutcase. I'm gonna pick. Right, she's nuts, man. I'm gonna pick Christine for that fight. I just think the way she just looks strong. She just looks very, overpowering and dominant in the sport and what she's doing. And I think she's just going to be a little bit too much for Britain, if I'm honest.
Then a fight that Rob and I were just talking about that we're both excited to see, and we saw the odds in the betting world have just shifted at Bet Online. You can go check them yourself. It's changed from Luis being the guy who's going to win to the underdog now. How do you see that fight going for the title? I mean, that's a hard fight to pick, I think.
Yeah, do you know what? I like Palomino. out of all the fighters I was watching, for an MMA fighter, he's got quite a good boxing stand-up style. And it works well. I've seen him, obviously, from what he's done with the likes of Brito and Alice. It worked really well for him. But I also like Martin Brown. He's tall like me. He's got good boxing skills. I've seen the way he absolutely destroyed Bobby Taylor. It's going to be a tough fight. If Martin uses his range, that's the thing with Palomino.
The range.
Palomino's not a messy, scrappy fighter. And his choice to be a bit too technical. And with a taller fighter like Martin Brown, he might struggle. He might struggle to pull that off. Them messy, scrappy fighters that normally fight a style like Martin Brown and get on top of you and hold you and clinch you, they're the ones, obviously, that spoil the work of a classy fighter like Martin Brown. So, if Palomino decides to box, stalk him down the ring, and take his time with his shots, it might not pay off for him. But I don't know, he might have changed his game plan. It's going to be a tough fight. It's 50-50 that I can't call a winner.
But I'm with him.
Yeah,
50-50 on that one.
We all feel that way, right? We can't. We're sitting here trying to go over it. We switch one way, we switch the other way. That's why it's going to be a great fight to watch, though, man. But we wanted to get your predictions because we know your bare knuckle IQ. We've seen what you've done. We can't wait to see you March 12th against the bare knuckle.
Co-main event of that night.
No, he says it's the main event.
The main event. I'm sorry.
That's what you said. I'm not saying that's what he said.
It's the co-main, the main only.
As long as you got main event in there, it's going to be great. Again, you got Jared Grant versus Johnny Bedford. That's going to be a fun fight to watch. And you guys there as well, you and Jim Ellers. March 12th, that's going down Seneca Allegheny Casino, BKFC.com. Very few tickets. That's almost sold out.
Sold out.
You might have to watch it on BKFC.com by grabbing the app. We're excited to see you, and we'll see you soon, man. See you in the flesh.
It's been a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much.
We'll just look for all the cameras. Where are all the cameras? We'll know you're there, okay?
Just look for the cameras, the glitz and the glam, and the loudest mouth, and you'll see me.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. It was an honor and a pleasure meeting you, and it's exciting to see you here.
Thank you.
Pip Pop Cheerio. Isn't that what they say? I don't know. Pip Pop. I don't know. Isn't that like, I don't know how to, they awesome. I can't do accents.
I'm terrible.
Is that what they say though? Cheerio?
I don't know.
God Save the Queen? Is that bad or good? I don't even know.
I watch Snatch and
you're an expert also. I watched the British Bulldog wrestle. I think I know everything about
he brought up a lot of great points, man.
It was fun talking to him.
Yeah.
Smart guy. You can tell he studied the business, the industry, the fighting game. He really
analyzed Jim. It sounds like he has a game plan.
Sounds like he's analyzed Jim, Elvin Brito, everybody. I mean, he didn't boom. And I knew he wanted, as you did, I knew he wanted Elvin because he just peppered that comment in that his fighter IQ is better.
Who doesn't want the belt? Who doesn't want to fight for the championship?
Elvin's a marked man now, but I don't think he would. I don't think it's any other way for him. I think a lot of our champions are all like that. They thrive on that. So we're excited. But again, that's coming up. That's our next show after KnuckleMania 2. Right now on the road to KnuckleMania 2. Very excited about it. It was enjoyable to get his predictions. Where are we going KnuckleMania 2 here? I mean, I know we keep pushing the fact because these clowns online, they've kind of calmed down a little bit. These circus clowns with big red shoes. They're claiming that it was going to be on pay-per-view or something. Listen, man, let's say this again. This card right here, just the top 4 matches, the whole card's loaded. But the top 4 matches, $4.99 a month by grabbing it up.
What a night.
$4.99 a month, BKFC.com. You can get those top 4 matches plus all of them. I mean, it's amazing. For only $4.99 a month. Best value in sports. That's what I say.
Watch it live at the Hardrock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida.
Those tickets are flying too, dude.
Just a couple.
This is from a year ago to now, and I don't mean with KnuckleMania. I mean in general with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. It's really cool to see like New York almost sold out. I think we just had another sellout.
Do you remember how crazy the weigh-ins and the press conferences were last year?
Dude, it was nuts. And we had crazier people on this year.
Press conferences going on Thursday. If you have tickets, if you're in the area, show up to the Hard Rock. Weigh-ins are on Friday, and of course the big night on Saturday.
So they can just walk in, even if they don't have tickets to the actual event, they can just walk in. The weigh-in's free, right?
Absolutely.
And as is the press conference. So show up there and look,
show up early. We were kicking people out last year. We didn't have any more space, and Evan was going crazy.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Last year you had some chaos in there, and that's some people don't love it. I love
sometimes.
it. Well, come on, Julian.
A little bit too much.
Julian, no. Well, Julian Lane and Mike Perry. Something's gonna happen.
The chaos started last year out on the casino floor, and I didn't even know about it. A bunch of our staff were in the mix, and they're like, "Did you hear what happened?" I'm like, "No. What's going on?"
There's always a show.
Got into it with Jake Boswick, and so we have extra security.
It was last time at the Hard Rock, right?
Yes, yes, it was.
So this year, I mean, you think of the card again. We had it up here. We could probably throw it up again. some of these bouts, I mean, you're looking at what's happening on social media. People are talking trash back and forth. You know, Perry Lane's going to be, it's a grudge match. You know that's going to be insane,
fireworks.
right? And then we also know, if you talk about it's kind of a grudge match, both women really want to be the first ever champion. Of course,
All right, let's break it down really fast. Poor Britain, and when I say poor Britain,
yeah, go ahead.
She has been written off the past 2 fights. Didn't have a chance.
Yep.
She was losing to right. She's losing to Paige. There's no chance she's going to beat her. There's no chance she's going to be able to touch Pearl Gonzalez. And she came out on top. Of course, Christine, you cannot. She beat her already. She holds a win over her, so that's going to be exciting.
Well, look at the level, but
don't write that fight off.
But
though.
you can't. But look at the level of competition. I mean, let's be real here. That Britain has had in the past year alone. I mean, it's been great. It has to level her game up. But is the level going to be high enough to be able to beat Christine Fera?
I was going to say Connor's right. She is a monster. Her power is second to none. So
I don't want to speak for Britain Hart, but I'm going to here. I gathered from interviewing her for Ungloved and all this stuff, or the road to KnuckleMania, which I can't wait till that comes out. It's going to be a good one between those two. If you like the other ones, you're going to like that too on the BKTV app. Britain seems like this fight means so much to her, and it makes sense. Not only will she win the title, but she gets that loss back. And I feel like she didn't say this, I don't think, but I feel like she sees stuff that's said. She sees people maybe not taking her seriously. Like you said, poor Britain. It's a shame because, so she knows she needs this fight. If she wins this fight, I think she feels nobody can say anything. This is
undisputed. There's no argument after that. There is
it's a big deal.
Argument.
It's historic too, man. It's very historic. Also, you look at Palomino Brown. This, at first, I'm used to seeing Palomino get very, annoyed as he's a samurai warrior against his opponents. He said he seemed very calm. He didn't seem annoyed with Brown, but there was you could see that little samurai warrior in him starting to come out. If Brown said something, he'd have a little kind of comeback, but he's like, you better be careful, buddy. You better be careful, buddy. I mean, it's definitely going to be an amazing fight to watch in ring too. I mean, I just am excited. But then Mendes Famez, Chad Money Mendes, the biggest signing ever in BKFC history, in my estimation, going against a guy who's a hometown boy, has everything to gain. I think that he might have said this on the road to KnuckleMania, Famez, that this is his chance for Chad to put Chad's star out, and it'll brighten up Famez' star.
Oh, it will.
So Famez has been training at Slaughterhouse Gym too, where Jared Kid Gotti trains, and Ryan's over there, and Ryan's kind of a mad scientist when it comes to bare knuckle. So
sure is.
I'm excited to see what Famez comes out with. And if you look, you continue down the card. I mean, there's so many other good matches. I can't see my glasses on. I can take.
Do we want to even talk about Gustavo?
Oof.
The knockout king. This guy is main event caliber.
Oh yeah.
Main event caliber, and he's fifth fight.
That's
down.
how big the card is, dude.
Yeah, this is
crazy.
insane. He is the only person, and please correct me if I'm wrong, to beat the current champion.
Lorenzo.
Yep.
That's Lorenzo's.
Is it safe to say if he wins this fight, it's an immediate matchup? How do we not ask for that fight?
I would have to ask Lorenzo, and like I said last week, if you ask Lorenzo something, he's going to tell you everything you need to know. He'll talk all about it.
What's the weight? Because this fight, he's fighting 205.
Exactly, he's going to have to come down.
They're going to cut. He's going to come down to 185.
Well, Lorenzo keeps saying that he wants to go up to 205 and get another belt. I think I've heard him say that before.
Yeah,
so
he did.
God knows where it could go, but there's a lot of options here for Gustavo. If he wins, he's got to get past Steven, though. I mean, he has to, and we'll see what happens there.
You talked about earlier, fish to water. Jade Mason Wong.
I can't wait. You gotta say wait. She's like you have to say it the correct way. I screw this up. Sean Wheelock is perfect. It's not Mason Wong. It's like Jade Mason Wong. It's
Mason Wong.
Is that how you say it? How do you say it, Evan?
Jade
Mason Wong.
She's French Canadian, man. Break out your French accent.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Big shout out to Canada.
Yeah, right. So continue. I'm sorry, but I had that makes me
fish to water. When I thought that fight was going to be a little bit more competitive. But wow, I mean, she came out. Her debut was spectacular.
Yeah, man.
Very one-sided. And what power she has, man. I'm looking forward to that fight.
I haven't seen her fight live and in person yet. I'm excited to see that because I was not at that event. But you can't take her opponent lightly, and I think this is going to be a great fight. And now you move on. Both these guys, I've enjoyed promoting events with them, and I've enjoyed being around both these guys. Francisco Ricci versus Jake Boswick. Francisco, I mean, this guy was supposed to fight. His fight got called off. They went through like 5. He just wanted to fight. Last fight, he wanted to fight. I think they went through like 3 different opponents, and everything kept bowing out, and he wanted to fight so bad. So I'm kind of glad that didn't happen, and it was his favorite thing because that gets him on KnuckleMania 2 now against Jake Bostwick, another dangerous man from the UK as well.
Yeah.
We've seen him. I believe he's the only 6-round fight in BKFC history against Tyler Vogel, if I can remember.
Yep.
So.
What a war they had, man. That was an exciting fight.
And he fought Julian Lane, too. Like, this guy's not going to just sit down. And this fight's going to be a great fight. Evan, I mean, out of all these fights, I got one more to go. Then, just so you know where we're coming to you, I want to know what fight you're most excited about. Jomi Zion. Now, Jomi, again, we've seen him compete. He's game.
Another undefeated bare knuckle boxer from...
But here's the thing. He's an undefeated bare knuckle boxer, very popular in Florida. And I mean no disrespect, but this is a worldwide promotion. We get the best in the world here. He's proven himself on a regional level, okay? And that's important because now he's going to level up, and now he's going to prove himself, or at least try to prove himself, on a national level, international level. So I'm excited for Jomi to see what he's going to do. Zion's been here before.
Zion's been here before, and boy, is he talking trash.
Zion. Oh, Zion just likes to fight.
He's going to knock him out, and there's going to be no chance. He's going to put a quick end to his career.
So Zion's the youngest fighter we have in BKFC right now, and this guy, you can kind of tell because he doesn't have any filter.
He's got that energy, man.
When you're
I love
a young
it.
man,
He's got that young man energy.
You know,
I love it.
I was talking about that last night. When you're a
He's
young
always
man,
in the
things are
chat
different.
too. Big shout out to Zion, man.
We're excited to see what you can do. We're excited to see you come back. And I love the way Zion fights. He comes out there for a fight. He's ready. He talks the trash, but he comes out to back it up.
Always game. So that's going to be exciting.
Even that fight. These are all great fights. And this isn't me selling the card. I'm genuinely excited about it. BKFC.com. Only how much? Pay attention. I'm going to yell this. I want everybody to pay attention. $4.99 a month.
Start time, so people understand though. The start time, we're going live worldwide, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, we are. I'm glad you told me that. I would have been a half an hour late. I would have jumped the show late. 6:30. Okay, and that's
something
cool.
we didn't add. So that graphic you showed, there's actually 5 more additional fights.
Yes, there is.
But there's one on there that isn't officially signed yet, so we can't show
You
the
can't show
bottom
it.
row of that graphic. But
I understand that.
like
Go through those fights, Evan. Do you know? Can you see it?
the ones that are
The ones that are left, yeah.
signed.
Because I'm curious if I shouldn't say go through them all, but any of those fights that we've talked about or that you see, what are you looking forward to? You're always close. You have an eye for it, so I always like to pick your brain.
It's going to be those top 4 I'm looking at.
Yeah,
For
right,
sure.
dude.
I mean, I'm really excited to see Chad. I was a big fan of Chad back in his UFC days, and just to see him in a straight bare knuckle fight is going to be sick.
Evan, if he had more than 2 weeks, call it 2 months, would his life be different, and would Connor's life be different? Would that match have changed either way?
I think so.
If given a proper camp versus Conor
I want
McGregor.
everybody who's watching this right now to go on to look up that fight.
They'll see.
I think it ended in the 3rd round is when Connor finally caught him, just from pure exhaustion, because Chad took that fight on 2 weeks' notice. It was a short notice fight. So he didn't have wind, but he took him down 3 or 4 times and was ground and pounding, and Connor was scrambling out. And I think in the 1st round it went even to the bell, and Chad was on top. So I think if Chad had a full camp, it would have been a totally different fight.
Yeah, the cardio, man. Like we were talking about earlier, he gassed, and that can be the difference maker.
Yeah.
We all know that. We've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it happen many times.
Do we talk odds for this
We
card?
started to
We
a
did
little
a little
bit.
bit,
We were
yep.
talking about how recently we saw this morning that Luis became the underdog in the Martin Brown fight. And while I don't want to say I kind of understand it because it keeps going back and forth.
Yep.
But this is the first time I think I've ever seen Luis be seen as an underdog going into a fight. Now that can change. Bet online, you could change.
BetOnline.ag,
your
check
bets
it out.
Whatever. As far as the rest of the odds, I think we should. Yeah, we have them scrolling across the screen usually. I don't know. I mean, is there any of the odds that shock you, Evan, when you look at them? The Luis
pulling them up
Palomino
now.
one was the one that really shocked me today.
I'll tell you, Martin Brown's a stud, though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if putting the champ as not a favorite
That's
is kind
crazy.
Yeah,
of
that's
That said-
kind
but
of
that says
unheard of.
something. That's what I mean.
I'm not a sports bettor. Every time I bet, I lose money. So I don't know if that happens often, but
Well,
who even makes the odds? Like, who are the odds? Who are these people anyway who make these?
It's like
Are
who
they in
controls
a dark room?
It's
Just
the,
like,
dark room with
it's the
cigars.
it's the same person who controls the Fed. We have no idea.
So I mean, if you look at the odds here, we have them up on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not a gambling man either because I'll just donate it all. That's how I do it. But if you look at the Palomino, you see how he's become the underdog now. But that can change. That can change quickly, and it will change quickly. I mean, people could be hearing us say this and going on there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Putting their bets in. They might, Let's see
I
what
think
else.
Julian Lane at plus 300 is worth putting money on.
Yeah.
A guy who's fought like, what, 8 bare knuckle fights, fighting a guy who's never fought bare knuckle, and he's plus 300.
Well, here's
Mike
the thing.
Perry is as hard as a coffin nail, though.
But here's the thing, and we've said this, and I think it was just said in an interview. I was talking to, I think, Elvin Brito about this. There's the magic button, man, on someone's face. Right here, he says, you hit them, boom, you hit that button, they're going out. There's Chris Lido was telling me there's some kind of nerve in the jaw where you hit them there, they're going out, puncher's chance.
Yep.
So if you do end up laying any money down and you go with an underdog and they can knock, I mean, we've seen it happen. So that could definitely happen. That's why it's even more exciting when you go in there. See, I've bet on boxing matches when I was younger. And let me tell you, being a young man with not a lot of money, betting on a boxing match, I was betting like $50. The intensity that it puts into my life, that I was screaming. I woke my friend's kid
My
up.
money's on the line.
Oh, I'm a nice guy, but I'm like, boom! I was going crazy because I wanted the money. So it's definitely puts another layer on the things if you're
Sure.
into gambling. It really does. Yeah. But I mean, if you look at the odds, they're all up here. Bet how you will, but it's interesting to follow the odds. Sometimes I'll look at them in the morning just to see where they're at. I'm always curious, and I think that's an interesting.
Look at
ballgame.
Bostwick and Riki.
Well, that's close.
That's super close.
Is that a fight now? Gambling people, is that a fight that you don't really bet on because it's harder to win money because the odds are so close together? Is that
We need to. There's some legitimate sports betting professionals that I spoke to, and they said that they would be more than willing to hop on the show, kind of talk to it.
I deal with a guy named Nevada Nick.
Nevada Nick.
Yeah, that's
Vic
my
Vegas.
Nevada Nick. That's probably where you got his name. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. He's brilliant with this stuff.
I would love to have them come on. Maybe do a quick 5-minute segment on educating everybody and letting them know what where's the money at. What are the good bets? You know?
man. But
Bring in Shawnee Mack, man. He does the locks.
Yeah.
He's good at these.
There you go, man.
Who are you talking about, Evan? I don't know that guy.
OG.
Oh, I want to
how
hear
you
you say
know
you
him.
got to do
Oh,
the
yeah,
OG.
I gotta give him his
Hold on, I
name.
want to do this because he's going to clip this now. OG Shawnee Mack, we love you at BKFC, bro. BKFC show. Always be tuned in. KnuckleMania 2, only $4.99 per month. There's a quick shill. Put that up
Shawnee
there,
Mack
OG.
all day, all night.
BKFC.com. Thanks, Shawnee. All right, well, we're excited about this. If you want to check out, go to Bet Online, the odds. It's one of our sponsors. You can check that out, and you can throw some, what are they, shillings?
Yeah.
Some cheddar?
Yep.
Let's do a money off real quick before we go, so we talk about money.
Okay.
Let's just go back and forth. Evan, you can get in if you want. Every single word, chat, join in, that you can think of, it's slang for money. Don't look it up, you jerk. I see you're looking it up. Do it up.
I'm bringing the chat up. I'm bringing the chat up for some
Give them
help.
time to get
Help
ready.
me up, chat.
I'm going to start. I'm going to
throw
start.
some numbers
We're
out
going
there.
to go back and forth, one each. Ready?
Okay.
I already said, let's see, seed,
Moolah.
lettuce.
Cheddar.
Oh, that was mine.
I was going to do that one too. Benjamins.
Cash.
Shillings. I said that, but that's one.
Anyway,
I'm out.
I love it. Hey, KnuckleMania 2, baby! KnuckleMania 2! We can't wait. Biggest bare knuckle event of all time. We're pretty pumped up about it. We know you are too. We'll be there. You'll be there. If you can't be there live, BKFC.com. Download that app as we go full speed ahead on the road to KnuckleMania!
Like, comment, subscribe.
Welcome to the world of Bare Knuckle TV. Watch every live Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship pay-per-view event for only $4.99 per month. Enjoy our all-new library of content, including unlimited access to the full library of BKFC pay-per-views, behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live Bare Knuckle fights from around the globe. You can access it anywhere you want, anytime you want, instantly on most streaming devices. It's available right now on Bare Knuckle TV. Over 1,000 hours of on-demand content, uncut and uncensored. All here, anytime you want, anywhere you want, for only $4.99 a month. Subscribe now exclusively at BKFC.com. Biggest bare knuckle event ever, KnuckleMania 2. It's a grudge match as Mike Perry takes on Julian Lane. Also, Luis Palomino defends his title against the hard-hitting Martin Smash Brown. And Christine Fera knuckles up with Britain Hart for the second time. This time, it's for the first ever women's flyweight title. Plus, Chad Mendes makes his highly anticipated debut against BKFC vet Famez. Saturday, February 19th, only on Bare Knuckle TV. Download it at BKFC.com. The biggest...